Hello, Roadrunners. It's good to see you. It's been a month and it's been way too long. I've missed you a lot. I miss giving hugs and giving high fives, elbow bumps, and teaching art in the art room. But we'll change things up. We're going to do this distance learning thing. We're going to take Crossroads Art Room and we're going to bring it into your home. I'm going to see you for a whole week. And during that week, we're going to be doing art projects. And it's expected that for 20 minutes each day, you'll work on your art. And then when that week is over, you're going to go on to your next specialist, just like you did when we were at Crossroads. Let's see, what else? Oh, you'll get video tutorials. And with video tutorials, you can pause the video tutorial. This right here now is a video tutorial. You can stop the video tutorial. You can rewind the video tutorial. So in case you've forgotten something, you can go back and you can watch it again to try to remember the information. When you're submitting your artwork, you are going to take a picture of it, and then you're going to submit it or post it on Seesaw if your classroom at Crossroads is downstairs. And if your classroom at Crossroads is upstairs, then you're going to submit it to Schoology, and then your coursework will all be in Schoology. I think I'm getting ready to start with distance learning. I hope you are too, and I'm really excited to see the art that you make. All right, let's get started. So a little bit before, I said our theme this week was going to be community. And community is a group of living things that do things together. And so we have our Crossroads community. You might have your neighborhood community, or you might have your work community. But I want to start out, and if you can move in a little closer, come on. Look a little closer. This is a community. And you'll notice they're holding up the shape of hearts. Everybody on this airplane is holding up the shape of hearts. And the people on this airplane are doctors and nurses, and they are going from Atlanta, Georgia to New York City. And they're going to go help out the people in New York City. And this photo actually really touched me. And I got really emotional over it because people from one part of the country are traveling to another part of the country to help each other out. And this photo was on a website that was called #Hearts in the Windows. And so I have some other pictures that I put on this sheet. And this sheet kind of is the lesson plan that we have for today and tomorrow. So it says day 1, day 2. And then it has examples. And I have beginner examples that are here. So these are our art projects if you want to take, anyway, for people who are beginners with art. And then people who are more advanced and want to spend more time on their art, that would be the assignments that are down here, or just ideas that are down here, because they're not really assignments. So you're going to be choosing what you want to do. Do you have to do what's on this paper or on this document? Nope, you don't have to. It's just to give you ideas. And I took these ideas from the website where this photo came from, which was called Hearts in the Windows. And this was also on that same website. This is a hotel at night in Oslo, Norway. So hearts are everywhere. And that's how people are communicating that they care about doctors and nurses who are helping people who are sick, or just to help people feel better who are sick, or just to help people who feel better because they're alone, because we're not spending time together anymore like we did before. If you look here in this picture, come on, a little closer. In this picture here, you'll see there are 3 hearts, and this is my window. So this is the window that's behind me. So if I turn around here, you're going to see those same 3 hearts. I wanted to take a picture of it during the daytime so you could see what it looked like from the inside during the daytime, because right now it's dark and it looks completely different. So I'm going to start with materials that I found around my house. So I had to work really hard to eat 2 bags of chips today. I found a box of bubbly, which is a heart color I like, in my recycling. I found cardboard from dinner the other night, and then I found Frosted Flakes box for cereal in my house. I also found some tissue paper, so you could take this tissue paper and you could use that to decorate your heart. And then I also found some used fun foam that I had around. But what I want to do is I want to, when you look here, this is my chip bag that I started out with. And then what I did is I cut it up to make hearts. So I'm going to start first with this chip bag. Actually, you know what? I'm going to start first with a plain piece of paper. And if you want to come around over here behind me, you should be able to see what this looks like while I'm working on it. So I took a used piece of paper because I'm only going to see one side of it, so it doesn't matter that it has things on one side because I'm going to use the other side. So I'm going to take this piece of paper and I'm going to fold it in half and I'm going to match up those short sides. And then I take my fingers, slide it over and go from the middle to the edge and from the middle to the edge. And now I folded my paper in half. Now, I'm going to unfold my paper and I'm going to take a dot at the top and a dot at the bottom. This is the dot at the top where I'm going to start. This is the dot at the bottom where I'm going to end. And I'm going to make a curve. And then that curve is going to come down and end at the point. So here I go. I'm going to make my curve, come down and end to the point. Now you're like, Miss Marnie, you only did half of the heart. Yep. This is the side I make hearts really good on. This side, not so much. So I'm going to skip that. Now, what I'm going to do is you'll notice I opened it up to put this on here because I don't want to make my heart on the edge because I'm going to get two halves. And if you want to have two halves, you can do that for your art that you put in the window. But I put it here on the middle line. So when I fold it, and I'm going to take my scissors here, and I'm going to cut it. And I'm going to cut on that line. And when I do that, I'm going to get two different shapes. So I'm going to get the positive shape of the heart, and that's the actual heart. And then I'm going to get the negative shape of the heart, which is where the heart is missing. So now I have two hearts that I can put up on my window. All right. So now you know how to make heart. Now, the other thing about hearts is hearts can be two ways in that a heart can be exactly the same on both sides, or your heart can be different on each side. If your heart is different on one side, it's called asymmetrical. Okay? If it's different, if it's, different. All right? And then again, this is positive, and this is negative. It's the empty space around the object. So I'm going to put those aside. And then I have this chip bag. And the reason I really like the chip bag is because they are made out of Mylar. And Mylar is a kind of plastic that has metal on it. So if I look inside, you can see that it's metal. So I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut this edge off because it's a little messy. And then I'm going to cut right down this fold. Whoops, I just lost some chips. And then I'm going to cut the bottom off my chip bag. And just like the piece of paper now, I have, I really did not clean out my bag like I did before. I'll use a marker for this so I can see it. So I'm going to put a dot at the top and a dot at the bottom, and then I'm going to make that curved line that comes down and around. And then I'm going to fold it over, and then I'm going to cut just like I did on the paper. So I'm practicing with the paper first because this material is a little different than the paper. So now I have, again, the positive heart, and I can put that in my window. And then I have, I have the negative heart and I have the positive heart. Another thing I can do is I can take this and I want to try and do it really evenly. And this is how I made the hearts that are on my window, is I took and I cut out a smaller heart from that first heart. And I really liked how the silver looked. So I was kind of excited about the chip bag. And if you have a bigger chip bag, these are just individual chip bags, then you really have some big hearts. So I can start, you know, with these shapes. Now the cool thing is I can take this and really have a cool heart and do them inside here like this. So I have some options for what I want to do for my heart display. All right, so that's one, another heart. And then let me take this one, and I have my ruler, and I am going to make a line with my ruler. And then I'm going to slide this over and match it up. And then I'm going to slide it over and match it up. So what I'm doing is I'm making two strips. So I take this strip and I'm going to cut it out. Try to keep it as straight because I'm looking for craftsmanship. I want to see that you are using your tool. So if you're working with the scissors, I don't want to see jagged edges. I want to see nice smooth edges. Okay? When you're cutting things out, nice rounded curves, and take your time. Okay? So now I have my two strips of fun foam, and I have tape. So I'm going to take this tape and I'm going to put it on this half right here, and do the same thing on this side. And then I think I'm going to do one more this way. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to curve this around. And then I think for this part, I'm only going to need one piece of tape right here. So now I have another heart that's like 3-dimensional. And what I wanted to do with this is I want to take this one, and I'm thinking I could actually take it and cut it in half and make it skinnier. But I would take this one, and then I can put it in my tree outside. So I have this one. It can hang with a string from the tree. This heart, if you look at it, it's symmetrical. It's the same on both sides. If I fold it in half again, it's the same on both sides. All right. If you have any questions, let me know. This is what my artwork looks like when I put it in my window outside. And so this is how I want you to send me a picture to Seesaw or Schoology. I want to be able to see what it looks like from the window. So there's my hearts. And then I cropped it so I don't have a whole bunch of extra stuff. Cropping means that I took off the extra parts, or, you know, I can move in and make it close up with my fingers. So I push up my fingers so that I can get it closer to. And then you can turn this into me. But I wanted to show you the art of Jim Dine. So Jim Dine loves using paints to make his hearts. And you notice he does repeats. So those are multiples. And then here he used colored pencils for his art. Lots of different colors, but you always see that line where the edge of the heart is in his work. And then this is an artist named Keith Haring. And Keith Haring liked to go into the subways of New York City, and he would spray paint his work in the subways of New York City. And then when he became famous, they'd actually pay him to put his art there. I love this one because the shape of the heart is made with bodies with little hearts in them, little dancing bodies. And this is made with lines and shapes. This one, he took a heart and he made it into a person heart, which I think is really fun. So just some ideas of hearts. This one has another community symbol of the rainbow on it. And then he used lines around it to make it really exciting. And then people dancing down below. So there you go, Crossroads. That's your first assignment. And I hope you have fun. And then I'll post something again for you for your assignment for Tuesday.